Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be working on the surface area of a triangular prism when dealing with fractions. So, our formula for the surface area is the area of the base. The two bases for a triangle would make one rectangle. So we're going to call it the area of our base plus the area of side A, B, and C. That makes all the other parts. And so we add those all together and we get our triangular prism. The only thing is we're dealing with fractions, so things get a little bit hairy. So we're going to walk through it. Right over here you have a triangular prism which has a triangle whose base is 4 3/4 feet and its height is 2 feet. And it has a hypotenuse, or one of the sides is 3 feet, another side is 4 1/3, and then we also have, I'm going to make one as 4 feet would be our length from triangle to triangle base. Okay, so with that being said, we have a whole bunch of measurements to work with. What I need to remember is that we need to find our triangular base. We double our triangle, so because we have two triangles, and then we figure out the area of each side. Alright, so we're going to do the base, we're going to do side A, B, and C. And to find the area of this triangular prism, we need to think about two things. First, we're going to figure out the area of our base, which is the two triangles put together. Remember, a triangle is 1/2 base times height. If I double that 1/2 base times height, I get base times height, which is a rectangle. So I don't have to worry about the 1/2 in our formula. I just have to find the area of the base times height because I'm doubling my triangle. So I would do 2 times 4 3/4. So I do 2 times 4 3/4. I need to remember to convert it to an improper fraction. Whenever I'm multiplying fractions, I need to change that to 4 3/4 turns into 19/4. And this turns into 2/1. And that's going to give me 38/4, which when turned back into a mixed number gives me 9 2/4, which simplify gives me 9 1/2. Now I'm going to wait till later. Maybe we'll need to simplify it further. Maybe we won't. So we'll take a look at that. We'll do area of A, which is this side here. So we'll do that side there. Okay, so we got a 4 by 3. Pretty simple. 3 times 4. And that's going to give me 12. Alright, because it's a rectangle. Then I'm going to do side B, which is going to be this part. So it's the slope going down, which is, if this side is 4, this side would also be 4. So it's 4 1/3 times 4. So we do 4 1/3, which would be the same as 13/3 when I convert it to a mixed number, because I have 4 groups of 3, that gives me 12 plus 1 more, times, and that's going to be 4. So I end up doing 14 times 3, 26, 52. 52/3. And then I convert that to a mixed number. So I got 10 plus, that would take out 30 plus 22 more, would be 17 1/3. 17 whole groups of 3 and 1/3 more. Alright, so now we got side C, which is the very bottom. So if I can imagine, it is the 4 by 4 3/4 bottom rectangle. Okay, so I would do 4 times 4 3/4, which we concluded as being 19/4 or 19/4. And if I do cross cancel of factors, I can take out 4 out of the top and the bottom and end up with 19. Okay, so now I have my 4 side lengths, or my 4 areas: 9 2/4, 12, 17 1/3, and 19. Alright, so what I can do is I can convert this to 9 1/2. Okay, I have 12, and I got 17 and a third, and I got 19. So what I want to do is I want to convert 1/2 and 1/3 into an equivalent fraction which has a common denominator of like a least common multiple of 2 and 3. So a multiple of 2 and 3 would be 6. So 1/2 would equal 3/6. And 1/3 would equal 2/6. So I add the fractions first. I end up getting 3 plus 2, that would be 5/6. Then I add everything as normal. So 9 and 2, that'd be 11. Plus 9 gives me 20. Plus 7 will be 27. So I put a 2 on the top and I put the 1 down. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I end up with 57 and 5/6. So let's put in our surface area is 57 and 5/6 feet squared. So in review, the surface area involving fractions. So if you're doing this with a rectangular prism or a triangular prism, here are the steps that involve using fractions. First, as you calculate the areas, convert all mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then you can multiply the numerators and the denominators across, and then if needed or when needed, simplify and or convert back to those mixed numbers. That's how you do that for each side. Then when you get all the areas together, what you need to remember is you need to convert all fractions to equivalent fractions with like denominators. So if you end up having fractions of halves, thirds, and fourths, my like denominator would be in twelfths. So I would convert them all into equivalent fractions of twelfths. Then I add the fractions together vertically. Then I add the whole numbers. And then I end up with my surface area of that prism.